Welcome back to Community Conversations. I'm your host, Steve Mantis, and my guest today is Celina Reitberger, the Executive Director of Anishinaabe-Aski Nation Legal Services. So, Celina, we were talking about really bringing back some of the traditional practices in terms of justice, in terms of community safety. And one of the issues that we talked about earlier is the ability of the community to be able to enforce their own bylaws.
Right.
Now, what's happening there, and what are the main issues that the communities are dealing with?
Well, pursuant to the Indian Act, every band has the possibility of passing a bylaw which will regulate the consumption of alcohol. So the communities are dry and they want to make sure people are not bringing alcohol into the communities, bootlegging, maybe serving alcohol to underage children. So to enforce the bylaws, there was a time when the courts were involved in that. And then the Ontario courts decided, we're not going to do this anymore in the courts that fly into the communities. So that basically took the teeth out of the bylaw, because the police wouldn't lay charges against the bylaw because there was no court to enforce it. So we have been working on this for a number of years, but Bearskin Lake First Nation passed a very comprehensive bylaw, and we have been working on enforcing that bylaw using a community-based circle. So the idea is that if a person has breached the bylaw, they will be asked to come to a circle, but there will be backup with the court. So if the circle doesn't work, they do not respect the circle, or they don't follow through with whatever agreements came out of the circle, then the court has agreed to be the backup there. Now we're in early stages. I know that as we speak, there's a restorative justice refresher course going on in Bearskin Lake First Nation, but we also have received money once again from the Indigenous Justice Division of the Ministry of the Attorney General to hire a bylaw enforcement facilitator. So this person will be going to some of the communities to help with enforcing the bylaw through the circle process. We're pretty excited about that.
And so in a way, there was a conflict, because provincial law doesn't limit a person's ability to travel with alcohol.
Exactly.
But the local community passes a bylaw, but then the province won't enforce.
Yes, it's been very frustrating for the communities.
So another part of your mandate is public education.
Yes.
And what's some of the initiatives you've got going there?
Well, we're very pleased that we have Fred Jacob recently hired on to be our public legal education officer, and he's also very strong in doing interpretation and the language. And so we're doing more in terms of radio broadcasts, and he's up in Pewanik right now doing some, promoting our programs, which is really important. But I think one of the most important things that we have done in the last 3 or 4 years is promoting a Know Your Rights initiative, I guess, with young people. So it started off with the case of a young person who was taken on a midnight starlight cruise, they're called, when the police pick you up and take you out and drop you at the edge of town. And that sort of mobilized us to say, well, we've got to do something to help the young people who come into Thunder Bay. So we created a education program, and we go into the high schools and do these presentations with the youth. But we also created a Know Your Rights card, and we're encouraging students to carry that with them and to know basically that, if you're approached by a police officer, you have certain rights. Mm-hmm. So for example, you don't have to tell them anything unless they are actually planning to charge you. So you can say, what are you going to charge me with? And if you're not going to charge me, then I will ask to be released. If you're going to charge me, I want to talk to a lawyer. If the police are not treating you well, you can ask for their badge number. You can use your cell phone to record what's being said. There's an app that I'm sure most young people could easily access called Legal Swipe. And if you have recorded the police and they decide they want to take your phone, it's already gone to YouTube. So we have got the word out there, and we're getting a lot of feedback from young people who say, yes, I used that in a case where the police were I felt threatened by the police, and it completely diffused the situation.
Well, my understanding of the interplay in a democratic society is that people need to exercise their rights.
Yes.
In order to fulfill really the goals of an inclusive society. And
well put.
And so right now we're seeing a lot of action in Thunder Bay around the issue of racism and the interplay with the police. It sounds like maybe knowing your rights has helped to like promote this this issue to a higher level that is now a public concern.
Well, it has been helpful, but I think what we've realized is that we have to get into the communities and promote it in the communities before the students actually come down for schooling. But I think one of the other things that is happening that's very positive is the Ontario Independent Police Review Director. Whoa, did I ever mess that up? In any event, we have had interviews with the Office of the OIPRD, and they have agreed to reopen files that we started taking complaints against the police about 3 years ago, and they're going to do investigations about those. And I'm very heartened that they are taking this seriously, and looking forward to the recommendations that they might have, because I think that we have a good police force here, and that there is definitely room to improve our relationship, and everybody has to get into the game and take this seriously. So if you see someone abusing another person, be it Aboriginal, non-Aboriginal, you've got to come forward and say, no, this isn't right. We've got to report it.
And this is once again the key for all citizens to participate in a democratic, inclusive society.
Yes.
We're just about out of time, Celina. If people want more information, how can they follow up? How can they get a hold of you?
Well, until June 30th, they can reach me at my office. My direct line is 807-766-7075, or they can go online and contact me at C.Reitberger at nanlegal.on.ca.
Okay, and we'll put that on the screen.
And they can
well.
also, I would invite them also to go to our website, because we have a lot of really interesting information about our programs. So that would be nanlegal.on.ca.
Great. Thank you so much, Celina, for coming on. I wish you well in your next bid at retirement.
Yes.
If you don't stay retired, come back on the show.
I would love that.
Thank you very much. Remind folks that you can go on our Facebook page, Community Conversations, to find out more, and we're always looking for your ideas and suggestions. Please stay safe, and we'll see you again next week.